Welcome back to Mid-America. Brett, thanks for coming by and watching. So, what I've been doing is thinking of ways to make cheap and effective, simple first aid and survival kits. Recently we went to Walmart, and my Walmart has began to kind of branch out, and they're getting more survival supplies. That's the food pail that I showed you just the other day. They have tactical gear. I mean, I don't know if it's like, it's nothing, really name brand. I mean, they have Blackhawk stuff, but it's all made in China. A lot of the stuff's not made in America, but really, what is anymore? And you just have to get used to it because it's all everywhere. But anyways, talking about survival supplies, and Walmart, or my Walmart did anyways, had a little tub, the same size as this right here, and it has survival supplies in it. It had some gel, liquid, gel alcohol stoves on 2 of those, a couple of candles, a small first aid kit, and I mean just several little odd and end things in there, and it cost $40. Okay, so what I've been thinking about doing is doing that, but more effectively, like 20 bucks. I mean, I think I could make that in 20 bucks. And so I don't have everything that the kit that could have been purchased at Walmart for 40 bucks. I don't have everything there that had in it, like candles and everything. But I've got your essentials, I think. I mean, some of the essentials anyways. And some stuff that's just really, not necessarily, needed, but just the nice, comfort things is what I'm trying to look for. Comforting items is, just as bad, just as good as the necessities, I think. Obviously, nothing too crazy, and I'll show you that in a second. But what I have here literally came out to, it was 18 items, so $18. It was Dollar Tree. That's where I got everything here. And so for $18 with tax, came out to $19.45. So just under $20. And honest to God, I wasn't thinking about I was just thinking, at the time I was thinking, I'll just make this little survival kit and see how cheap I can get it. And it literally came right under $20. And so that was my idea. Set it to under $20. Alright, so everything here is a giant mess. And I'll show you exactly everything I got here, pretty much broken down. So I'll show you the tag, or the receipt, sorry. $20. I'm not going to show you a town and numbers and everything, but see, Dollar Tree right there. Dollar Tree. Okay. So what I have here is obviously what I purchased. Start out with, there's really everything blends in together, I think, pretty good. Obviously, you need some first aid supplies, and so I got a box of gauze for 15 sterile gauze pads. That's a pretty good price, and I mean they're 2x2s. I mean, not too awful big, but like I said, for $1 for 15 of them, that's not that bad, and they do pretty good. I've used them before actually from Dollar Tree, and they're great for starting fires. Obviously, for the intended purpose of wounds and whatnot. So that's always a dual purpose. And like I've said in my channel before, I like to make everything I do, everything I have in my bug out kits, survival kits, or whatever, I like to make everything have a dual purpose. There's no reason to have something if you can't use it for something else, I think, anyways. Let's go ahead and just do this here. This is a drop cloth. It is 0.7 mils thick. It's plastic, but you can use this as obviously a drop cloth, to put on the ground. You can make a tarp out of it and you wrap it over. It is 9 by 12, so you can kind of make a little lean-to type thing to it, or with it. Not really all that heavy duty. It's nothing, nothing more than a cheap tablecloth, but being that it's 9 by 12 square, it'll make a tarp, keep you out of the rain for a temporary situation. Next is an instant cold pack, and there's 2 of them in there, so that's a pretty good deal for $2 or for $1. You know, 2 of them in there. And so you just pop the little water packet in there. You guys know how instant cold packs work. So you got that there. Let's go ahead and go to a rolled gauze. And obviously everything, when you just look it out of here, is not going to fit in here. So when you take it out of the box, out of the package, if you're able to do that safely, you're going to save a lot of space, and you can probably get some more stuff in there. So I'll probably fill it up. So there's a rolled gauze. This is a 3-inch wide, 2.5 yard roll. You're kind of your standard piece of gauze. Now the quality is probably going to be a lot lower than, you know, a Cortate or whatever. But then again, like I said, this is all from Dollar Tree, so it doesn't have to be top brand, you know. I do have several of these, you know, my actual first aid kits, that's all name brand stuff. Some of it is still in date and some of it is out of date because I actually have a way to get out of date items. So, not just from stores, but from my job. Hydrocortisone Cream, so, you know, your Benadryl cream right there. Right now, I got into something last week. We were out putting deer stands up, and I got something on my leg, and I got ate up, and it started kind of swelling the other day, and so I've been putting, you know, Benadryl and spray and cream, and taking Benadryl like crazy, and yeah, so it's working. Benadryl's been my best friend, so for a cheap little 1 ounce tube, why not? Fast itch and rash relief. That's exactly what I've been doing. So I've been thankful for that. Triple antibiotic ointment. So obviously your Neosporin. These are just, I don't see here, this is Natureplex and this is Dr. Sheffield. So I mean, this is clearly cheaper stuff. Still, it's going to do the same job, or should do the same job as Neosporin. So let's go on next. Oh, the good stuff. If you have fillings or caps or anything for your teeth, Dentec Temprin. Temprin is a miracle worker in the field. If you're out and you have a cap come loose or whatever, or a filling come out, this is gonna help you out because if you have a cavity in the first place where you need the filling, it hurts like a son of a gun, Well, you uncap that, and yeah, it just turns out to what it used to be. It could get infected and go so far. So it's always good to have some of this on hand. And so I'm going to go ahead and actually buy 3 or 4 more of these and put them in the house because, and unfortunately, I have a couple fillings and a cap, and they haven't come undone yet. Knock on some wood. Here we go. But that's always a must for somebody. A 3-pack of instant hand sanitizer is lemon scented. If you know anything about hand sanitizer, it is usually alcohol based. And so, this is 62% alcohol. I didn't buy any alcohol this time with this, or alcohol wipes, so the hand gel is going to do good for obviously sanitizing your hands, starting fires because it is flammable. This makes fires very quickly. So for $1, 3-pack is not that bad. Obviously your simple Band-Aids, there's 40 of them there for $1. I could probably do better at Walmart for $2 or $3, for 100 or so. But I do believe these will work just fine. These are, yeah, they're cloth. These are cloth. So that's nice. Even though it says for medical emergencies, seek professional help. I'm not a professional, but I've got professional training, so that'll work. A 3-pack of antibacterial wet wipes. You can get wet ones for about $2 a piece, and there's, for 10 or 15 in a package. There's 10 in each one. Each of these is 30 total. For $1, why not? You can break them down. I think I might break them down, or I might just leave them all in there. You never know. So there's some wipes. Let's see here. Obviously, hygiene is a big thing, and I totally forgot about getting soap. I usually, every first aid kit, and in my survival bags, my bug out bags and everything, I've got a bar of soap. And if you don't know why, it's because you know, personal hygiene is one of the biggest things. And in a survival situation, you want to be clean whether you think you do or not. It's just when you're out and you're hiking and you're going to get dirty and you go to town or you're trying to make a deal with somebody. I don't want to make a deal with somebody who's grungy. You know, I've got several homeless guys around, you know, in the area, and they sit on the corner constantly. I've had one that we've been watching for a year, and it sits in the same corner and begs for money. He's not homeless. I mean, he's fake and all, if anything. But he's clean. And that's the funny thing, is that he's not homeless because he's extremely clean. And if he was homeless and actually honest and broke, he would be getting a job. But anyways, that's a different video. But I've seen several guys, you know, who actually are dirty and you know, grungy, and they just, you can tell they've had a hard life or last couple of weeks or whatever bit it is. So those are the guys I actually want to help. But I've got a couple of toothbrushes here. Now, I got a couple of them. I got a blue one and a pink one. You know, for me and my wife, doesn't really matter the color, because whatever. But this is probably going to be a kit that I can hand out to somebody who's actually in need of some help with this kind of stuff. So that's why I went ahead and picked up some you know, toothpaste, because you know, your body can be dirty, but don't be, you know, trying to talk to me and blowing your nasty breath in my mouth or my face, because I hate nasty breath. My job, I mean, I'm in the healthcare field, and so I get nasty breath thrown in my face all the time. It's like, I want to hand you a Tic Tac. So I want to start carrying Tic Tacs in my pocket. Not really, but whatever. So, past that little rant, small roll of duct tape. It's only 10 yards, and so it's not going to do a whole lot. For $1, it's 10 yards, and I can go to Walmart for like 50 yards, or whatever, you know, 4 or 5 times more than this, and get a roll of, you know, good Gorilla Tape that's heavier for easily $4. It's going to do a lot more. But anyways, duct tape's always good. Next are some utility knives. There's 3 of them in there, so I can break them down for different kits. They're not going to do a whole lot, but in the pinch, they'll, you know, obviously do what they're supposed to be doing. And last but not least, fire making. Lighters. I've got 3 lighters. Always have a backup to your lighters, and then obviously a backup to the lighters. You know, my first, second, and third lighters are going to be matches. On a cold, rainy day, you know, your wood or your tinder and stuff can be wet, and it's not going to really start. And so if you grab a handful of these matches and get your firewood going, if you know how to make a fire and you know how to use it with, you know, use matches, you can, you know, stack them and make a teepee or a, you know, crisscross fort or whatever you want to call them. Add your matches and get going. Not on top of the match heads, which will light and get it burning too. So for 20 bucks or less, I've got a simple little first aid kit. It's effective, and it'll work. So I'm gonna go ahead, break this down, throw it in here, and I'll show you how well it works in here. Okay, so I've got everything in this little box. I'm going to probably take some clear packing tape and I'll wrap around each side just to make sure it doesn't come undone, because this lid is kind of crappy. This isn't like a Sterilite or a Rubbermaid lid at all. This is just a cheap little box, but it holds stuff. I've got everything in there except for 1 instant cold pack, 2 of the knives, like I said I was going to use probably other kits, and then 2 of the hand sanitizers, which I'll probably use another kit somewhere, somehow, sometime. But anyways, for 20 bucks, it's under like 3 pounds, maybe 4. It's probably 3 pounds. But weighs absolutely nothing. Like I said, if I wanted to gift it, I can gift it. And that's it. So thanks for watching this quick little video over a $20 Dollar Tree first aid survival kit. Thanks.